I think of the many things that Jesus said. And one of the closing things that he told his disciples in that upper room discourse in John 13 is that by this will all people know that you're my disciples, not by the arguments you have on Facebook, not by the blogs that you write, but by the love that you have for one another. So I think love is one of the key things, but love is not tolerance. Tolerance is such a low ethic. It's this spineless, standardless thing. Love is much different. Love flies at a much higher altitude. So it was one homiletics professor who said, Robert Smith Jr., that every New Testament point has an Old Testament picture. And I think the seminal Old Testament picture for love is found in Hosea 3, when God says to Hosea, in essence, I've got a problem. My people keep on cheating after me by going after other gods. By the way, that's what happens every time we sin. And he says, but in my holiness, my real problem is not that they've given me a right to divorce them, but in my holiness, I'm not going to leave them. I can't leave them. That I've got more mercy than they've got mess. And so he says, Hosea, in essence, I'm going to use you as a visual aid for my profound love for my people. I want you, the prophet, to marry a prostitute. And I know that's strange, but I think that's one of the properties of love. Love, in essence, it's strange. If it doesn't turn heads, it's probably not love. And I think the problem with the church today is we've gotten far too tribal, and our relationships are far too typical. There's no real sense of strangeness when it comes to love. If I can go back to Jesus and the disciples, the fact that he puts a tax collector in the same group with the modern day version of ISIS or Al Qaeda, which is Simon the Zealot, and he pretty much says, I'm calling you to love one another. Or the fact that in Acts, Paul walks into a town and he asks two questions. Question number one, where's the synagogue? I want to preach to Jews. Question number two, where do the Gentiles hang out? And then when they come to Christ, he doesn't follow the homogeneous unit principle and start in a very pragmatic way two separate churches. He says, no, I'm going to start one church and call these two strange groups of people to come together in the theater of the local church, and I want you to love one another and pray for one another and forgive one another. So I think at the end of the day, we've got to be people who reach across all kinds of divides, not in the name of tolerance, but in the name of Jesus, and be people of love.